Hey there, it's Jane. Welcome to the cardstock and envelope swatching video. I keep all of my cardstock in little swatches on rings. I happen to collect cardstock, and rather than going to my wall or my cabinet to find out what color I need, because I have two different ways of storing my cardstock, I go to these rings, pick out my color, and then I know exactly where to look for the particular color that I need. And as I said earlier, I do collect cardstock. So this is a color that I've been wanting to get for a long time. It's Hero Arts Lapis Blue. So I finally purchased it. And I have this die that I've had for years from Paper Tray Ink. Any die will work. And I keep it in the drawer with my cardstock swatches so I don't lose it. I try to keep everything all together. And I always forget. So I measure my die and then I cut my cardstock into a strip so that I can cut the swatch out of the cardstock. So this is my favorite Fiskars trimmer because it cuts completely straight. So I'm cutting this piece 2 3/4 inches wide. And in my mind saying it's 4.5, but just to be sure, I lay the die on top, I cut it, and that way I know there's no mistake. I'm going to hold that on there with a little piece of 1/2-inch purple tape and run it through my Gemini Junior, which is my favorite die cut machine because it's automatic and you know, those seconds add up. So here is my die cut. Simple, simple. And then I'm going to grab my Brother P-Touch label maker. Is my absolutely favorite label. And this is a 6mm tape. It's a single line of tape. I'll show you the 12mm in a second. I wanted to show you how easy it is to change tape. This one actually has a caps off and on. And I always put the name of the whatever it is first and then the company second. Now, for some reason, I decided when I was doing this project that my name of my cardstock should be in lowercase and the name of my company should be in capitals. I don't know why I decided that, but I just did. But you can do it any way you want. So I hit the print button, and then I hit the OK, and there it is. Out comes my label. I take my scissors and cut the ends off because I don't like all those ends. I try to make them even. And then I am just going to put this onto this little swatch of cardstock that I have. And then I'm going to grab my ring, as you'll see in just a second, and try to figure out where I want it to go on my ring. Sometimes it's very obvious where it should go, but because I don't have anything like this color at all, I kind of was like, well, I know it's blue, but is it really purple? And maybe it's more of a periwinkle. I did glance at my purple ring to see if it should go there, but the final decision was it should go with the blues. That looks like a good place, so that's where I'm going to put it. These are big 3-inch rings. I will try to figure out where I got them and let you know, but any Hobby Lobby or any store you can get these rings, and that is how I swatch my paper. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I have 2 different ways to store my paper. I store them in magazine files with job ticket holders, which is on the top. They're right here. And this is the same Office Depot brand. I think it must be older. I'm not really sure. But they're both non-glare and they're both 5.0 mils thick. So they come with a little flap. And so I cut that down to 12 inches with my trimmer. And my paper fits right in there, absolutely perfect. So I need 2 labels for this. So this is the 12mm tape. It's a double print. So I already typed in lapis. Now then I hit return and then I hit print. Click OK. Now it's saying, are you ready to finish or do you want to do more? And the reason I love this label is if I click escape, I can print more or do it again or whatever I want, erase it and print another label, and it saves label tape. It doesn't completely bring it out and bring it to the end. So I feel that I've saved a lot of label tape with this. So I'm clicking OK again because this is my second label, and I will show you how much label tape I actually save. In between, that's how much because I did 2 in a row, and the front end, that's how much it would have been if I didn't. So I'm all about saving centimeters. So the job ticket holders need 2 labels. I put one on and flip it over and do the other. and place it in there, and I put my paper with their scraps, unless they're tiny, all in the same place. And you will see here, I'm going to grab my magazine holder for you. I get these from the Container Store. Is I keep them on their side, and I keep them so you can slide everything out. So it's on its side, and that way I don't take up so much storage space and height, and because shelves are always 12 inches deep, so it fits perfectly on a shelf, and it's upside down. So I will fix that and show you that, and you kind of leaf through your paper, and you get your label. All the ones in the back are waiting for me to put labels on them. Then I also have a whole wall of storage. Now this is a shelf liner that I got from the Container Store, the Alpha Shelf. And I use clear labels for these, 12mm clear labels. And I have one on the top corner and one on the bottom. And the reason being is my cardstock is up high, and that way I can see it. And this is how I swatch my envelopes. Easy peasy. I take one envelope, I keep one of every color. I make a label for it. I take an old envelope and line up the hole so that I make sure I'm punching them all the same. Keep them on a big ring. And I love looking at that rainbow of envelopes. Don't you love that? So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope this was helpful. Oh, I'm also wanted to show you that I swatch everything. I swatch my sparkle cardstock, my metallic cardstock, my specialty cardstock, my vellum. Every piece of paper that I own is swatched here. And I know it takes a little minute, but it really is worth it in the end.